I'm going to record this call not to just to teach a lesson, okay, about what you were saying. You don't even have to talk, okay? I just need to this inspire. Now I follow my father's heart wherever it goes. Now it never leads me to the book of Numbers. All right, the book of Numbers is a book of numbers. 4,234 cattle, oxen, whatever. Now I know every scripture that my heart loves and needs to know. The one scripture that the cast away my spirit of fear was the Lord has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. Because I was stuck in sleep paralysis, like I had been all that night. The day I committed myself full of heart to go to with follow the Lord, right? As much like wherever he says. And I've done that. I've been his good and faithful servant. Now, I have a enemy that nobody talks about. Nobody in intelligence wants to talk about him, but the most evil man that makes Adolf Hitler look like my Uncle Daniel from the Lion's Den. And he's not my like real uncle, but he's with me so much, and he babysitted me when I was young, when my parents would go away. We are a family in heaven. Nobody knows what they're talking about. The ruling elite, they are terrified and scared of me, but they know who I am. The elite, the people that are like the that are not like super wealthy, worth gazillions of dollars, and don't consider themselves royalty. Now, like there's so much stuff that you don't know, and now I'm telling the public about it. And I can show them, like, this is when Barack Obama used the CIA character account and told me he was going to Grove. And I asked him, are you going to Grove? And he said, he's supposed to be a Middle Eastern 32-year-old fundraiser, right? Like, but he tells me, folks, shizzle my nizzle. Now, that's not going to, that I guess the white journalists can't understand, but the black in me knows you will not say, oh, shizzle, my nizzle, unless you were a nizzle. Okay? I understand like that. If that is not, if that was not Barack Obama, and all the public is going to understand and believe me. And I'm tired of these hypocrite faggots. Okay? Now, gay people call faggots all the time, whatever. I'll call him. I'm tired of the faggots. Okay? And I know it's hard for some people to believe because the public, sometimes that's why they make fun of you sometimes because you're so blind and you just feed off of whatever and you're not seeing, but Obama is gay. Okay? If Obama is not gay, then I'm gay. Okay? Oh, if Obama has ever gave Michelle orgasm, orgasm, that I would give Obama an orgasm. I'm 100% completely positive. All right, nobody is under any illusion, even in the press. Nobody thinks that Michelle and Barack Obama are a family. Yes, he had sex with her. They had their kids, but he's rolling with the homies. And the gay folks in Chicago are shocked that he could be allowed as president. But according to my sources that I talked to, I would just, because to be curious and stuff, he gave really good head, okay? Really, really, really good head. They gave him cocaine. Now, Obama went to a private school, and nobody liked him for a plethora of reasons, but, you know, he was not the great Barack Obama. He was buried in it. He would always bum cigarettes from people. And the real Obama at his core, a core heart of hearts, is totally bought and sold out to, he's their boy. The Trilateral Commission, you don't know, that's David Rockefeller. Like 100 years ago, this dude, through the entire of the 20th century, David Rockefeller, who died finally at 106. He had so many heart transplants, and Obama got scared because he did something stupid over Facebook. He spent 2 days trying to convince me and all of the people in the ruling elite and the press, my best friend, who is, or now one of my closest, my favorite columnists, Jamie Steen, Jonathan Carl, the number one journalist in America, and my hero. I'm tagging him like this is Barack, right? And then he's being so like mean and nasty to me. And then this girl, Verity Rothschild, who is a real Rothschild, jumps on. It's like, this can't be Obama. I like Obama. And she is just doesn't want to believe it. And she's not in the she was married to a commoner. So anyway, Barack goes on this. Now he's been up for a while. He takes a lot of cocaine. In the 4th of July 2015, he did not have to be anywhere. All he has to do is write a speech, right? Or, I mean, say a speech and prepare for Grove. He's going to Grove. That's what happens in July when all the most powerful people on earth go into the redwood, right? In Northern Virginia. I mean, in Northern California, like not too far from where you used to live. And Richard Nixon said to Henry Kissinger on a recorded call, the Bohemian Grove, where he goes time to time. He's telling him he can't imagine. Henry Kissinger can't imagine because he's telling Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger doesn't know, but no, no. And he's telling it's the most goddamn faggoty thing you can imagine. No women are allowed there. Drake goes there because Drake is Lucifer's son. Drake is rocking their owl, their symbol, exactly. He changed not a thing. The OVO owl is Drake. Okay, that's that Drake is that he's about that's going on. He's a black Jew, So am I. I believe, and I can't be wrong, but the devil has to kind of copy, and he figured he needed a black Jew too. But the devil hates black and Jews more than anybody on earth. He hates the whole line of people, the whole generation. Drake is in a and he has a older brother, my mortal enemy. Okay, the Anton, Lucifer's son. Now he submitted to me because he knows that I'm even with 187 IQ. Like he knows Greek, he knows like all that stuff. He had to shut up and recognize because not only am I world's smartest, but my God is with me. I'm not making this up. And if I believe what I'm saying, and I know for sure, and my George, if Uncle Doug and Uncle all these in the most important state in the country, the home of the first 5 presidents, the Washington D.C. is on federal land, and George Keith Martin is the king of Richmond and knows everybody and knows all the judges on earth. They think he can walk on water. Joy and him are chums now. They never really were close. She hated him. She says that her heart was breaking when he used to abuse me. I don't believe it because she said that her heart was breaking when the only way her black friends could make her laugh, and she's like humor deficient, was to make fun of me. Then she's laughing. So that's all I have to say about that. I could play my guitar out on Virginia Beach, but I'm telling you, that would not do any. Music is not. That's just one thing. That's the talent of a servant. Now I'm going to be the son of God, and I'm going to talk to these people, and we're going to have a great time, and they're going to get to know the real me.
And why you can't go out there and try it? You need money. You're asking a lot of people for it.
Connie, if you know what you have done and the situation that you are in, because my Father will keep my covenant. Our covenant, we had 3 things. I only had 3. Okay, I want, because a lot of people died, like the guy that taught me guitar, and, pretty much, Maggie Martin, my first girlfriend. So many people died. My dad, my grandmother, my best friend. Oh, it was kind of hard, but I couldn't lose grandma because she was my everything, right? So at what I thought was the last night of my life, and you can ask around, Cynthia would be a witness if she didn't hate me too, because she's mad that but she's signing with them. She's not going to go anywhere close. She's going up, but she's going to probably wake up, to do it again. She's not going to remember who she is or where she was, and hopefully the fear and spirit and the scoff and the mocking, and I'm gonna refuse to be happy no matter what you do, is going to, some of it will come off, and maybe we can pray and stuff, and we will see her one day, but it will not be, right away like your sister, or who was your sister. You don't know who your sister is now, but anyway, it's not her. Aunt Teresa, who looks most like my dad, and who, when I look at her, she reminds me of my dad. I added four things to my covenant, right? One, I want my father to be my real father, right? Because I don't want to be a bastard. I prayed for a father because I love my father. The one I got was a nightmare. I found out all the stuff that I could not have ever known. People tell me crazy. He knows for sure who I am, but he worships the devil and he's a homosexual, and you don't care. George, have you had the George? Well, anyway, I don't know if you're going to lose your mind first or if you're going to lose everything you have. Like poverty, if I had to guess, Connie, if I believe, if I believe I am, right, and I believe I know that Jesus rose, and what he said about believing, if I believe it, right, I could do it. Now, if I believe I could move Mount Everest and throw it into the ocean, I could do it. But do I believe that? No. So when Chris said, he can do anything, he can spin the world upside down. If I believe it in my heart, if you believe it in your heart, you need to be on some medicine. But you're not moving that mountain. But me in the spirit realm, I am a creator's son. And but the nature of me should terrify you. You've been, you side with them. I told you. I told you for 3 minutes what I told you. After everything. And you, first of all, Connie, can I be real with you now? Just this is going to be hard to do. But you're the only family member I'm embarrassed of. I am completely embarrassed. And I thought about that. Like, man, Seth Connie's going to be on that cruise because she's going to talk to 453 people, and they're all wondering who this girl is because they don't care. They like to go back to what they're doing. But Connie, you feel the need. Hey, he's my buddy. He's my friend. The waiter here, if you tell me, I'll take care of you. She'll give you a $20 tip. Ooh, you spend all your money in the casino. How much money have you gambled? The casino, the lottery tickets, and I don't know what you're doing it for. You putting it, but for whatever reason, that's fine, The Lord would have blessed you if you, offered to give me $100 at that particular time. Because I was so upset. You heard that I could not talk to you because I was crying so hard. So when you call, did you get the money that I said? And I it's like I'm going to walk to 7-Eleven to, get something to eat. Oh, you did get some money? So you thought I was hungry this whole time? Okay, yeah, man. See, my aunt Teresa and my sister Teresa, who I add the fourth thing, my third thing, my second thing, I want Grandma to be healed, and she was healed. In praise and worship, dancing just like my prophetic dream. Had she gone to heaven any other way, I would have been having nonsense, man. I would have been just doing whatever I wanted to do. I told my Father in heaven, I believed in my whole heart that you will find a way to heal Grandma, as impossible as it seems. And I told Grandma, if you go up there, I saw the stream. She was so sick, she walked up to the front of the church. Not Milton's stupid ass church, but a church. It was actually Faith Landmarks. She walks up and she starts dancing. She could barely move. She has this demon foot, that she has this nasty, her foot is 4 times, but coincidentally, it's the same foot to her gout. It was really bothering her, right before she passed. And the migraines of getting so bad, and combined with the crippling diarrhea, she was ready to go. And I could feel it. I could talk to her because I'm my best friend. Now, you always side with Joy. Grandma always sided with me. Joy did not like that. But, did Grandma care? Remember when Joy tried to get John to fight me? Oh, no, you don't remember that? Her drug dealer boyfriend? Not her plug. The plug down the street. Like my friend, who I chewed out, because, I took out some frustration that I had on my family and on him. He's like, whoa, dude. And I had to apologize. But that's what I do the first second that I learn I'm wrong. But you don't, right? You gave me the worst fucking idea. You don't know what you're talking about. The dumbest, Connie, it's so dumb what you're saying. If I want money, right? Because her idea, I could go up to the ocean front, right? Now, with what car? Okay? What car, Connie? You don't know. You are so out of touch. Okay? I'm sorry. Well, my car broke down. Yeah, because the guy Michaela told me to take him to, tried to rip me off, said I needed a new valve body. Well, it turns out I only needed a speed sensor. A valve body was $4,100, right? And guess what? A speed sensor is about, 3, 4. So I can get my man back on the road. My favorite car. I'm so proud of that car. I keep it so clean. I love it. I love it more than anything. I would drive it more than a Corvette. It's my favorite car. I don't want another car. And I'll be sad when it goes over too many miles. But that is many, many miles from now. So it's all good in the hood, right? But it's kind of hard when you have your sister trying to convince a magistrate to commit you and forcibly medicate you because she is pissed off and moving heaven and hell to get me back on the antipsychotics that a judge says I have to take, that they got me on, they didn't tell me what it was about, and then when I try to come off, I want to fucking kill myself. Dude, okay, I got off. I got fired for trying to tell, all these, although this class of color, right, to stop bullying the only white kid in grade school. Now, he happens to be, it's not because he's white. This is just a fact. I don't care what he was. If he was Chinese, he just so happens to be my favorite student that I've ever taught. And I love him. And he's so gangster. And he would leave him alone, and here we go. But if you want to go, dude, we'll go right now. And if you say something else, we will go, and I will initiate it. I love that. All three. I'm all for that, right? I'm all for that. And so, but he's telling the truth. He understands. And, he did something for me. I asked Principal Hires to do something for him. And they didn't take me seriously. It broke my heart. I promise if he could not talk to Douglas all day long, right? Not say anything to him, I would give him McDonald's. And I told him, if you could do that, man, dude, I would give you a motorcycle, all day long. He'd say all day. And so at the end of the day, right before my last day where I'm getting fired, I'm try not to cry, but he's like asking me, Mr. Brown, what about my McDonald's? And I was like, but no, you didn't go all day without, and he looked like he was about to cut. Yes, I did. And then I looked to the man on the left, and I did. He's like, yeah, he did. And so I was like, oh my God, you really did? Okay, I'll give you your McDonald's. I might not be here Monday, but I'm going to talk to principal, and we're gonna try. I tried everything in my power to just like give him his McDonald's, or no, his Chick-fil-A. And it's like I was like, you really? Yeah, dude, I've been working all day for that Chick-fil-A. That's what he said, and I could not give it to him. You guys make me, you get these kids attached to me. They have hope, and you snatch me away. And but God, do the heat. That's why you're dead. Now, Connie, you will dream. I'm sure tonight, perhaps. I don't know. But I'm just saying, one day you will have a dream that you might not, wake up for and just not remember. It will be a different kind of dream. I have a dream, Connie, that you can go to hell. In addition to being embarrassing, going around talking to everybody when nobody cares, dressing like you went to the Salvation Army, picked up a red shirt that said something random on it, and then some light blue pants, some shorts, with your wide ass going up there, just really and spending your money away and talking to all these people and talking about George. You want to talk about George? You're gonna be with George. You might not be, one of his children, but you're going to be in a pit. And I'm telling you, dude, I'd rather be in hell. But, hell's not what you think it is. Okay? So anything, that you can do, I can do better. I know that Jesus rules. All I'm saying is like about 30 minutes ago, Connie, I wanted you to go to the pit. Right? And through, on your way to the pit, when you're like, how can this get any worse? It's going to get worse. Because now, somebody's going to, maybe Anton will come up and get you, and say that, hey, no, you're over here with us. And then it's like, no, but you don't deserve that. But I was so mad I wanted you to go. Because it's not just that. It's the fact that you weren't talking to my dad. But when he died, you weren't talking to him. Right? And so if you had a problem with him, then of course you're going to have a problem with me. You bought this house up under grandma, made a move. She goes to another house. My dad comes over like he asked, like a good son, takes the washer and dryer machine out of your new house into her new house. But that's not good for you, Connie. So you're going to have a fit, do a bunch of other shit that we're not going to even talk about because it's a waste of time like you are. And you have the cops called. And what my dad said what was told to me that he said, I don't need a washing machine. My mother told me to come and get this. I will go. Like, I have my own family. We have a washing machine. And so he had to go over, he take the washing machine back and drop, and it was a stupid looking nasty washing machine. You are an older in my family, and I'm happy to see you go and never again. You might see grandma one more time, but I'm saying in a dream maybe, but you're not going to like how she talks to you. And I know she is, because she had to talk to me. She had to stop me from sending you somewhere you don't deserve to be. Right? You didn't do anything all your life. You were nothing. You didn't hurt people. You didn't rape 5 children. You didn't do all this shit. You just are nothing, and you decide you're going to listen, watch the tape. If you need money, right? I have an idea. Go up to Virginia Beach and and then play your guitar. And I told you respectfully that I would make like $4, okay? Like 3 hours. The only place I can really do that is in Europe. The best place is in Germany because they're efficient. They have a system. You can only stay there for 30 minutes. You go. They have these €2 coins. If you're doing good, even if they don't really have time to sit, they'll just throw you. So you can make like about $30, $40 an hour. If I was in Germany, things would be different. I would not have, be crying on the phone to you because my friends who are supposed to love me are jealous of me and want to break my heart, right before I start what I do, going to the public. I told you what's going on. You're telling me, and you're good at music, and you haven't good friends, and you're not going to do what I tell you to do? After all I told you, that whole thing about, and you say, and you're going to judge me and get mad at me. And that's why I hung up the phone. I was it. And then I blocked you. You're in the friendly chat, so I can't remove you there, but I don't want to. That's fine. You can stay here. But as far as the cruise or anything in my life, you're not going to be a part of. And I'm glad, because what you did to my dad and my grandmother. And you done gambling all your money away. Go join the black bitch ghetto parade. You're filth to me. You're nothing. Grandma, it's not that I want me to send you there. Yeah, but you're going to a place where, you're not going to like that either. And if you see yourself there, just know that I believe what I can, if I say, if I'm just reenacting. I did was a whole lot more force and passion before, right? And she had to stop me because I'll go. I was sending you there because I'm there in my mind. The spirit is not there. That break, that line, that division line is not there, right? But you are going to, my father came and talked to George through me. And I don't care if you believe that, that's what I believe. And I know his eyes, and it was amazing to see him. I love him. He's nothing, I'm nothing to compare to him. Just for his mercy, because he's upset that he has to, send him. He doesn't want to send, anybody there. But he has to. But he also wants to, he's fighting back the urge to do what he really wants to do. But because his George's offense against me and nature is so great, and that's what I'm saying. You can go to this place. You think Pastor Randy's on the throne with God? The left seat of God, I guess, getting an award for the most money raised as the first pastor billionaire. And his secret lover, George, who is, if he's straight, then I'm gay, and Father, forgive me, but I don't feel gay. I love women. I love the kitty, right? I know that I can pleasure a woman a million times better than George. I know I'm a trillion times better of a father. I'm beautiful with kids. I'm trying to help him. He betrayed me to these people. Had they got a hold of me, you have no idea what they would have done to me. But I kept the whole jail up. You're gonna pop off my. You did too stupid. A lot of people sit down for a while. I'm sorry. This is gonna sound cold. But we need to we aren't really good at administration, handling of firearms and responsibility and power. We let it go to our head. Don't let us get a degree. Even if we got on the University of People, it's gonna go to our minds, and you are gonna judge me. And I am trying to help you see that my time is now and for you to be excited. But no, you're not going to get my idea. And then you start to tell me why, and then that hung up. I didn't have anything else to say, and that is it. Now I'm going to go break this fast. See, Don't catch me on a fast. Don't. I'm serious. If I'm rhyming, I'm singing, I'm battling in the heavens. I'm two places at once. I can go anywhere I go. My reality is there. You are there now. And so in your subconscious, it's stuck in the middle. And you will wake up from the worst dream and stuck in a place that you don't understand. Am I awake? Am I asleep? It does not matter. I don't believe in space and time. You are where you are and where you always will be. And that's all I've got to say. Now go to sleep.